Thursday, March the 7th, 2024, and after the officially wettest February ever recorded, certainly up our way, I'm back out. So it wasn't just me, it was indeed a very wet winter, not just February. February is normally February fill dike, but from my observations locally, the dikes were absolutely flooded, never mind filled. So today, grey day at the moment, could be a few sunny intervals later. There's an easterly breeze, which will be a good test once again for the wind blocking capacities of this new camera. Just the second walk with it now, and it certainly seems to do the job on the first one. Today's walk is very similar to the last one, purely coincidentally, which is a wooded one. I'm up in Essex, just about to walk through Epping Forest to do around 8.5, 9 miles from here, Loughton, to Epping, with hopefully lunch at a church in Upshire. Quite chilly with an easterly breeze, as I mentioned, but otherwise it's dry, and that's the important thing. Could still be plenty of mud around though, underfoot. It's 11:45 or thereabouts. Be about a 4-hour walk, I should imagine. So let's press on. Interesting old vehicle there. Yeah, this is swcwalk197, I forgot to mention. Not often I start at an underground station, but just coincidence that I have done for the last 2 out of 3 walks. Got a large Sainsbury's on my left for refueling or fueling up as you need. Initial section of walking will be urban, of course. So, having ascended Ollard's Grove, now take this lane next to Forest View Road and hopefully come to the end of the urban area. And we're now on a section of the Three Forests Way, which you can Google for more info. It's a reasonably long distance path. Getting a bit foresty now. The earth car wide track described in point 3 is on my left there. It's not too bad today by the looks of things, but I'm currently on a side path which is a bit drier and soon joins up with it. So as you can see, sticky I'd call it today. And at this junction, take a right. Has become a bit muckier now. Passing Strawberry Hill Pond per the map on my left here. It's quite quiet in these woodlands today. I was expecting a bit more bird song. And now passing Earl's Path Pond, which is next to a B road ahead. And we'll soon be able to hear the hum of the M25, because unfortunately we need to cross that road, and it's never far from earshot apparently. No fungi picking, eh? It's alternative medicines, well known in this area clearly, and rightly so. I was reading an article in the Lancet yesterday whereby a man in Germany, 62 years old, had 267 COVID jabs, one way or the other, and they had no effect on him whatsoever. So that indicates to me that clearly there's little more than a placebo in those shots. Otherwise he would have had massive heart attacks, etc., etc. Doesn't make sense, doesn't add up. So at this juncture, just where the main path starts to rise, we take this path off to the left next to a small stream here. Point 7 of the text. Point 8 of the text, just cross this footbridge down there with a very muddy section. And I must admit the notes thus far have been very clear. I am using the notes, but GPX as well. But the author of this walk, Sandy I think it is, I haven't come across before, but so far so good with the notes. And I like the fact that she's using numbered paragraphs as well. I've always mentioned that in the past as being a shortcoming with some of the walk authors. Numbers are always good reference on these videos. And I mentioned COVID earlier. I'm still seeing dump masks about. The stream remains in the gully on my right, never far away at the moment. And where I made reference to leaving the main path a few minutes ago, climbing gently up that hill, that would have been a short walk, if you so wished, of 5 miles back to Epping Station that way. Sun's breaking out now, which is nice. As you may be able to hear though, some jet noise around. Having seen no one on the walk thus far, I've now encountered 2 groups of school kids, probably on a geography field trip. This little ditch is now on my left as I ascend. Plenty of leaf litter on the ground, and I can see the yellow path marker ahead of me as mentioned in the text. Thus sounds like the M25 is just coming into earshot. No, it's Epping New Road per the map, with this being Broom Hill on my right. And incidentally, we've got a range of heights today from around 87 foot to I think it's 370 odd. So a little bit of an incline in South Essex. Or I suppose I should say Southwest Essex. Okay, so the reason for all the school children around is the Epping Forest field centre close by. You can hear it, but I won't film it because obviously I'll be filming children and that's not allowed on YouTube. King's Oak pub here, an early lunchtime stop option, and at around 1 o'clock on the button, appropriate for me, but I'm not stopping there obviously. Big building, the old King's Oak pub, which has a cafe immediately next to it, which is also a handy option. Don't see any seated area around at the moment though. I wonder if this is the King's Oak. It's protected around the base. Another small cafe with some tables outside, away from the hubbub. Very bland woodland this. A bit like the woodland up in Broxbourne that I walked many years back. Seems devoid of wildlife for some reason. Not a great lot of vegetation cover down below either. Too many humans around, I reckon. can hear the hum of the M25 now, I believe. This is Honey Lane Quarters on the map. So the traffic noise I'm hearing in the background is actually an A road, wood-ridden hill, because as you can see in the distance there, the M25 is still some way off. Mist is clearing and we are approaching the high point of the walk. It's around 335 foot here, and as I mentioned earlier, about 376 is the high point today. We'll be coming out of the forest soon, hence these clearings. A little bit more bird song here. Great tit, robin, blue tit. But generally, as I said earlier, it's been quite quiet on that front. And here is an example of what I meant earlier about February fill dyke. They're far from filled, it's flood dyke. Incredible amount of rain we've had. So having crossed that busy road, now following this lane towards Wood-Redden Farm on the map. Now entering the Wood-Redden estate. Past the old lodge house here. Passing Wood-Redden House, now being converted into apartments, apparently in the heart of the forest. Usual sales pitch. Don't mention anything about the noisy M25. A couple of 100 yards away, do they? Certainly hear it now. It's that easterly breeze. Not helping matters, I suppose. Decent vista in front of the house, albeit spoilt by the noise again. There is said property, Wood-Redden House. Approaching the busy M25 now, still on the Three Forests Way, having left the Forest Way. Intriguing combination of names there. And there we go, a nightmare place, which incidentally is being closed for the first time, I read in the paper. Can't remember which section, but sections of it have got to be closed for days at a time, involving massive diversions. Not my cup of tea. So at this finger post, our onward journey straight ahead. Up there. And there we go, probably my first bit of flora today. Very little in Epping Forest. It's definitely not a bluebell wood. But here we have some gorse. Wonderful. So, having crossed the M25, I'm now on a permissive footpath. And what do I see? Mountain bike tyres and horse hoof prints. Really stamping out this. And there is the signage that's being blatantly ignored, and this is the consequence for us walkers, a quagmire. This footpath should not be like this. As it's permissive, could of course be the owner riding through here on a horse, but I doubt that somehow, not judging by the numbers of prints I'm seeing. All it needs is a horse blocking gate at this point. Look at that mess, all horse hooves. Okay, St Thomas Church, Upshire, Berry Green to be precise. Upshire, and the sun's out. Plenty of benches around as well, I see. There's even a seat behind that bush there outside the church. Just there, with a decent vista. Shame you can't get into the churchyard from this side though. Information panel here about Gifford Wood wildlife, which you can Google if you so wish. As I say, I haven't seen much today myself. A few more seats around here as well. Must be approaching the high point of the walk now, with that beacon. Is that a beacon or a bird box? It's a bird box, isn't it? Yeah. Not sure what that's for. I believe that's the recommended lunchtime stop. The Horseshoes, McMullen pub. Road's closed at the moment, so no traffic. It's right next to the path that I've just come out there. There's the old village hall, not so old though by the looks of it. God rest their souls. A lich gate is the memorial. I haven't seen one of these before. So if I get in the church, hopefully, it'll be my first opportunity to test the indoor capabilities of this camera. That's what I'm hoping. I'll do that after I've had my lunch though. St Thomas's Church, Upshire. And it's 2 o'clock on the button, near enough. So as you can see, plenty of seats. And even a water tap there, which is interesting. Whether that's potable or not, I don't know. Wouldn't want to risk it. And as I said before, decent vista. Shame you've got to walk around the edge though to get to here. Anyway, let's get tucked in. And I'll take this first seat, dedicated to Harold Ellis, son of the soil. I like the sound of this chap. Good man. God rest your soul. Well, just gone 2:30, and unfortunately I won't be filming inside the church because the door's locked, unusually. Well, there you go. And as we leave the Lich Gate, let's not forget those that died in the 1914-18 war, who, as usual, outnumber those of the Second World War. God rest their souls. Last of the snowdrops in this little bit of woodland, so a different kind of soil. Now coming off the lane, following this track down to Lower Lodge, and I've now heard my first unwelcome visitor today, the invasive parakeets. Passing Lower Lodge farmhouse and then the cottage, which is our onward journey. Views from point 22 of the text. Sun's gone in a bit now, so the old easterly breeze is a bit more prevalent. Continuing up this track towards Coppards, is it? I can't remember, just a second. Sorry, Copt Hall. Interesting name. Okay, we now leave the main track following this very evident green sign on my left, which would appear to be quite new and added since the author wrote the notes, I think. Just stood on a footbridge, crossing a ditch. Copt Hall, half a mile now. First style of the day. Essex Ramblers H2, which I am not familiar with, the H2 aspect. Okay, on reaching this T-junction, there is the option to turn right and add 2.7 miles to the walk by visiting Copt Hall. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to turn left and continue the main walk. Once again, the M25, which has never been out of earshot, comes into view. Judging by these troughs, and I've seen it in a couple of places today on these open fields, cattle were previously around, but no longer, as you can see. Wonder why that is. Changing tastes. Passing an old pillbox on my right, and shortly after I do believe we come off the road or the lane. As you can see, now entering a field regularly used by Essex police, possibly for dog training. More bird song down here than there was in Epping Forest. Blue tit and a wren have just detected me. Classic bit of Essex County Council handiwork here. Kissing Gate in disrepair almost. Now approaching Griffin's Wood on the map. And I'm pretty sure in years gone by there would have been cattle in this field. It's quite amazing how the brambles take it over when it's left. And by the way, I would Google Copt Hall if you wish to learn more about what I haven't filmed today. Copt Hall, C-O-P-P-E-D Hall. Yeah, that notice confirms my suspicions. Now I come out of the field, follow this sign through a squeeze gate into Copt Hall Park. Big house up on the hill there as I leave the field. I wonder if that's Copt Hall. Under renovation, so I read earlier. Looks like deer have been about. I did read that fallow are pretty often seen in this area, but I haven't seen any today, not even a squirrel. Now walking alongside the M25 for a bit. Memorial here on this redundant step style to John Standen, 1906 to 83. Quite interesting, the M25 is beneath us at this point, below this transformer room, I think it is. But there's another busy road ahead of me that I need to cross as well. There's the sports field and cricket pavilion referred to in the notes, and the yellow top finger post ahead of me. Crossing the M25 again at a different point, passing the Forest Gate Inn, a possible early tea time stop. Point 33, which is a particularly muddy section. There's the bench on my left, but I can't see any fence with it. So there's a hedge on the top of the slope, but the instructions say to go across the field, which is what I'll do. Following the Centenary Walk per the map and the GPX track, and this is self-explanatory. So here we are back at Epping, 9 miles and 3 hours 42 later I make that. Not a bad walk. Suited its purposes today, really. Would be interesting to see what it's like in the summer months when it's drier and obviously full leaf cover. But yeah, it's another one I haven't done previously, so it needed doing. swcwalks197. Shame the service doesn't go out to Ongar anymore. Terminates here at Epping, and here is my carriage. So that's it, another decent walk done. Let's see if the weather allows me now to get some momentum going and get back to a weekly basis. Fingers crossed, eh? Till the next time.